Let's check out Fortnite Chapter 2 on the brand new iPhone 11 Pro with a DualShock controller. Hey everyone, it is Andrew here from AppleInsider, and we have our iPhone 11 Pro Max, and we are booting up Fortnite. Now, if you've been living under a rock and play Fortnite, it has been occupied by a black hole for the last day or so, launching a pre-launch for Chapter 2 of Fortnite. It brings a ton of new changes, but we're not here to walk through all the changes in Fortnite. We're going to touch along a little bit of those in this video, but we are primarily going to be testing out the new iPhone line and how it works with the latest update with Fortnite. So the iPhone 11, the 11 Pro, and the 11 Pro Max all are sporting the latest A13 Bionic processor, so performance should be pretty similar on all these different models. We're going to be bumping up our 3D resolution all the way to 100%, and we're going to be maxing out the frame rate at 60 frames per second. And we are, for the most part, going to be leaving that show frames per second on, so you'll be able to check it out in that top right hand corner in the display, though it is very, very tiny, so it might be hard to see even when we zoom in. It is super small up there in the corner, but it gives us a good idea of how that frame rate is actually doing as we're playing the game. So you may not be able to see it at all times, but do keep an eye on it up there, and we'll point out any discrepancies throughout this video as we see how the frame rate holds up with those maximum settings on our iPhone 11 Pro Max. So we haven't played Fortnite in a little while as we were gearing up for Chapter 2, this massive update, and the update is pretty nice. We started off playing with just the kind of handheld touch controls, which worked fine enough, but we did quickly turn to our PlayStation DualShock 4 controller. It's simply a lot nicer to be able to play with a real controller in our hands rather than using the touch interface. Everything maps pretty well. Fortnite does force you to use the console servers when you are using a controller instead of the mobile servers, just to kind of even the playing field, level the playing field a little bit. It is a little bit odd at times because we were jumping into a match, and sometimes if we were on a mobile server and we had our controller connected, it's like input blocked, but that's been a problem for a little while now. And Epic still has not added the left and right joystick clicking button, so L3 and R3, those still do not work here, which is kind of a bummer because I still want to use those to run or to crouch, and you have to use different control schemes here on the mobile version versus playing it on our console. As far as gameplay goes, everything is very smooth. We are keeping a solid 59 to 60 frames per second as we are playing through, even in more kind of hectic areas and stuff. We did definitely notice a little bit of staggering and stuttering along the way, frame rate dropping down to as low as 17 a couple times, but we did kind of correlate that when we were using a screen recording. So when we were actually playing handheld without recording our screen at the same time, we didn't have those issues with performance nearly at all. It maybe dropped down to like 45 a couple times, but for the most part it kept itself up there 60 frames per second. So even though we saw some stuttering, it seemed to be more, kind of attributed to recording the screen at the same time as running this game on maximum settings than it had to do with the game itself actually having any performance issues. The new update, by the way, which if you have not had a chance to check it out, is pretty amazing. It does involve an App Store download to get the latest update and another 2 gigs or so of downloads inside of the game itself. It brings a ton of new features, of course a huge new map, there are new game mechanics. You can swim, you can drive in boats, you can hide in haystacks, there's new weapons such as the bazooka, the bandage bazooka, which allows you to heal your teammates. You can carry hurt teammates. Like, there's a lot of new features and changes with this Chapter 2 update. Usually the Nintendo Switch is kind of our go-to for playing Fortnite. Has such a great experience because it's handheld, has a nice solid large screen, and it allows you to easily play with all the other consoles. But we didn't really like some of the other aspects, like that it was limited to only 30 frames per second, and when we played here on our iPhone we can actually get that up to 60, so that's a nice improvement. And with the max size screen, it does give you a lot more real estate to play than some of the other iPhones, such as the iPhone 11 Pro with that 5.8 inch display. We also saw there was very little delay between using the controllers and what we were actually seeing on the screen, so we didn't feel disadvantaged in any way between the Bluetooth controls and kind of having those slowed down at all. During the beta process, we did see that a little bit, and some people were commenting on that in our last video that we did with iOS 13, but it definitely seems improved now that everything is official and launched, and the official DualShock 4 and Xbox One controller support is really here. Overall, playing on our iPhone 11 Pro Max is a great experience. It gives you that mobile option as well as being able to connect controllers to play anywhere, but still be able to do it with much more accuracy than the touch controllers on the display. Between that controller support, iOS 13, and the massive Chapter 2 update, and the new Pro display, the Retina XDR display here on our iPhone 11 Pro. Everything looks amazing, but I really want to hear what you guys think. We're still missing support for those L3 and R3 buttons, but that really is the only hindrance to the game at all. Here we weren't really focusing on our gameplay as much as just how this thing was performing, and I'd love to hear what you guys think of the new update down below in the comments.
Hey everyone, did you guys like that video? Be sure to click on that like button so we can create content that we know that you guys want to see. And follow AppleInsider on all social media channels. If you want the best prices on any Apple gear, check out the AppleInsider price guide that is updated daily. And until next time, we'll see you later.